they supposed to do? I don't know how to.
Gordon's got the ground game. Well, it's the coach. This is the 2018 season, and you've got it tuned to EA Sports. Coming up, we'll get a look at Melvin Gordon, fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the Oakland Raiders taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the StubHub Center, 20 miles south of downtown L.A. The scene a moment ago, unlike any other in the NFL for a lot of years. The crowd here in Carson might be half the size of a normal NFL stadium, but they are twice as loud as their Chargers get set to face off with Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. Hi, everybody. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Charger club entering play here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
Strap in. This will be a good one. 2 one-loss teams getting together as they're underway on EA Sports. This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. They're led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State, Derek Carr.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Now the first carry for Marshawn Lynch, and he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, Lynch. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
We've called a lot of games, but we don't normally talk about inside linebackers being that fleet of foot, do we?
No, he was able to get outside there to make that play.
Yeah, and you know what makes them faster? Their ability to read plays, understand what offenses are trying to do, and put themselves in proper position.
Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. It's caught. Nelson. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. First down, Raiders. The former Packer Jordy Nelson on the receiving end from Carr. They go play action here on first down. And it's hauled in by Jared Cook. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That one goes for 24 yards.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends are creating so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
The numbers for Marshawn a week ago. 21 carries, 83 yards.
And when I watch them operate, I see a unit that's playing with extreme confidence. Offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers. You see a group that wants their number 8 rusher in the league end up being in the top 5 before it's over.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. So they got the deal done, and now he can just focus on football. He's got that behind him. Family not going anywhere, staying put. He can focus on football.
And I like how you mentioned the family, because that's a huge part of it, because everyone needs to be happy and comfortable. And, you know, while this process was going on, people had to be wondering, especially within his own crew, are we going to have to move? Are we going to have to change things? Not anymore. They get to stay where they're comfortable and familiar.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers? It's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
So here's the Charger offense making their way out. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. Oh, the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. Stays on his feet, and he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game. The effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage, I really liked what he did there.
Here we go. White 90. White 90. Flex round. Flex round. Flex round. Flex round. Hut.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw
Still
it,
2nd down.
you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long.
Ohio. Ohio. Come on, let's go. Ohio.
To throw is Barrett. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
Oh, he caught it. Just couldn't get the feet down. Couldn't get that toe tap sequence, right? I was ready to call him tippy toes if that one was completed.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Ohio 38. Ohio.
Working out of the gun, it's Barrett. He's going to fire one deep. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Carl Joseph. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Suddenly, it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. Now after the INT, it's Carr. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit. But get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out the way they wanted it to. No sense in even having to take that one, hence the decline.
Carr now on 3rd and goal. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield. But when push came to shove, they stood their ground. And now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And Forbath will put this one through. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Our focus shifts here to J.T. Barrett and company as they take the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10.
Keep it skinny. Set. Delta. Keep it skinny. Check. 12. Hurry up.
To throw again. Rivers. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. To throw, Rivers. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. That makes him now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
To punt it away on 4th down, here's Drew Kaiser. Back deep for the Raiders, Jalen Richard. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. That'll be a 48-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Carr gives to Marshawn. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
He finds Lynch. It's complete. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Looks for Nelson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jatavis Brown. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10.
What? 90. Ohio.
They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And he'll get nothing there. Stopped right at the line as that will wind up. Back now to begin the 2nd quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Chargers here with a football. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. Barrett being chased out left. And he whips gets that one incomplete there. Tyrell Williams was the intended target, and it's third down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
An incomplete pass on second down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is third and 10. Back to throw Barrett. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Carl Joseph. The intended receiver there, Allen.
Well, this is simply a great read by a defensive back. It's third and 10, so he sits right on where the yard-to-gain marker is, knows it's going to be a route around that distance, makes his read, breaks on the football, and makes a terrific play.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Amari Cooper, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders add on to their lead.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. He'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on first down. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
On second down, they'll run with Gordon. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is good.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Carl Joseph. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. Carr now to throw. And brought in by the tight end Cook. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
On 2nd down, Washington. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Back to the ground, this time Lynch. And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Here now, a look at Melvin Gordon. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. Now a play fake here on first down. Now he's going to throw it. And got his man complete. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. They give him a gain of 37. Nothing conservative about that play call. You said earlier in the quarter you wanted to see them open things up, maybe take some shots downfield. There you go.
Yeah, and that one was successful. But even if they're not successful, when you take those shots downfield, they've got to back off a little bit, loosen up a little bit on defense, and give you a little bit more room if you want to run the football. No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
Now a second down throw for Rivers. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Gilchrist. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Throwing on first down is Carr. Caught by Nelson left side. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. The Raiders on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Now Carr. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
6-18.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Southern California after this. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
In the middle of the field, he's got Nelson. They only get 5 out of that quick slant, but that's good enough for a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
On the draw, Carr leads to Washington. The nice footwork gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
throw on second down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Rookie Derwin James with a pick. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Charger TD. You think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead? Not so fast. That pick six really changes the complexion, probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now, probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
Sturgis adds the PAT, and it's now 13-7. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Now Carr to try again after the pick six. And he'll sling that one in there. Complete to Cooper on the comebacker. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Carr now 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a first down. From the gun, it's Carr. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number one. On second down, here's Carr. Able to shake him off, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. And the Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much doing. He'll get this only up to about the 36. And now the Chargers are going to signal for another timeout, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number one. And this will be taken at the 13. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Bruce Irvin in there to bury him for a loss of 11. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Hey, Rocket!
Final play of the half, Rivers. Out to his left. He's going to look for Allen now on the deep ball. And incomplete on the deep ball. Okay, well, so much for the halftime report here. Guy can't even finish his Snickers. We're going to get right to the third quarter. Let me spit this out. Isaiah McKenzie now on the return. Gets around him. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Rivers now just 2 out of 6 since coming on, but he's got a 1st and 10. Rivers now to throw on 1st down. Throw left side complete. That's Hodges. A gain of 6 there on 1st. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Ready.
Now they'll pitch it out. This is Gordon. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Carl Joseph up from his safety spot to make the play.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
3rd and short yardage, Rivers. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Gilchrist. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Shotgun now for Carr. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Washington on 3rd and short. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
And Forbath will put this one through. And now it's a 2-score game at 9, 16-7. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he rifles one incomplete. He was looking for Mike Williams that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Hey, Rocket! 80 high!
Throwing again. Rivers on 2nd and 10. Escaping the pressure right. Going deep here for Allen. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
Hey, yo, Rocky. Hurry up,
On 3rd down, Rivers. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the safety, Reggie Nelson. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Carr now on 1st down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. The 10th carry of the game for Marshawn Lynch. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Okay, some people call it the shuffle pass. Some people call it a shovel pass, but this worked really well. And it's hard to do in the NFL because of the big bodies that tend to clog up the middle of the field. But the execution was excellent there, able to get it done and get upfield for big yardage.
Now he's flushed out right. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
The lone receiver right is Cooper. Carr going to throw. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. Jordy Nelson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Here's Carr to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Tried to roll out, make a play outside of the pocket, but couldn't get it done.
When you don't have a lot of space for your receivers to operate, and down there it's really condensed when you're snapping the ball from the 2-yard line, rolling out, you extend the play, but you don't necessarily open up better avenues for people. And on that play, there's just nowhere to go with the ball, and you end up getting sacked.
A look now at the Oakland defense as they get ready. They've certainly got something to build off of. They had the interception last time out.
And now they have to just make sure they're cognizant of not trying too hard for interceptions. Once you get one, it makes you a little more antsy to try and get another one. Now they got to be careful of double moves, different things like that against them. But they like the momentum that they've begun to build.
We'll see if they can keep that momentum going. They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Rivers now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. The 1st down throw here for Rivers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Second down, Rivers. He's airing it out for Williams. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass.
Alpha! Set! Hey, Rocky!
third and long for Rivers. He's got his man. It's Williams. And he's taken down, but not before he gets us into enemy territory across the 40. A very solid gain of 27. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
Rivers now on second down. This will be caught inside the 10. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. First and goal, Melvin Gordon. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. It's a good pickup of 7 yards, and now they're looking at second and goal. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up an interesting third and goal. Rivers to throw it. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Maybe a little fortunate there. That was leaking a little, maybe leaking a lot, but he got it.
Yeah, he actually was able to make it work. How about the body language, though, right? As he's watching that ball leak to the right, trying to bring it back in, and had just enough to get it done.
So out come the Raiders. And, Charles, you'd have to think this is where you want to start taking some time off the clock.
Oh, definitely, because you got the lead, right? You take a good look up there, and you say, okay, what do we need to do here? Well, you're not in full-out protect mode. You want to make sure you run it, throw it safe, take some time off, and eat it up.
Carr and the Raiders come up first and 10 at their 25-yard line. Not taking your advice, they'll throw first play. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Nelson. A good pickup there, a 22. Carr now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's first and 10. Carr now to throw. Smith catches left side. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
To throw his Carr. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Carr to throw on 3rd and 1. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down, but a tip of the cap on the spin move. Back now at the StubHub Center in Carson. It's the Raiders with the lead and the football here as we get ready to start quarter number 4. Carr come up here with a 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. To throw, it's Carr. Able to push his way through. To the right side, he's got Cooper. It's complete. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. On the handoff, Lynch. And they're just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call? I
do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And Forbath will put this one through, and that will make this now a 15-point advantage. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Now a second down throw for Rivers. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Bruce Irvin in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Hey, go orange. Orange.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Rivers. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the safety, Reggie Nelson. And he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line. Allen, the intended receiver. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here, 3rd and a yard. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
Phillip Rivers now gears up to take the offense back out there. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. To throw on 2nd down, Rivers. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marcus Gilchrist. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a fourth quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
Forbath able to convert the extra point, and that will shave one more off this lead. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Raiders defense getting ready.
Flex round! Flex round! Hey, four down.
Throwing after the interception. Barrett. Throw left side complete. That's Gordon. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be second and about a yard. Working out of the gun, it's Barrett. Got a man over the middle, it's Williams. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards on the quick slant and a first down. Barrett looks to throw on first. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Keenan Allen, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Back to the air on second down. Barrett going underneath for Gordon. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a third down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. From the gun on third down. Barrett, he's airing it out for Williams. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up fourth down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Back to throw Barrett. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The fourth down play doesn't work for the Chargers. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. First down, the run with Lynch. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But that, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And that'll set him back 5. Following the penalty, Lynch. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Casey Hayward makes the tackle.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Here's Carr. It's caught. Nelson. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On the give, this is Lynch. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. They'll run again with Lynch. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And now the Chargers are going to signal for another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Handoff comes to Lynch, and he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And Forbath will put this one through, and their lead will swell up to 28. Well, it's hard to put your finger on whether this is something to celebrate or something maybe the offense is embarrassed by, but that's now 6 field goals he's made in this game alone.
Yeah, he's bailed them out quite a bit so far, but it's very comforting to know that you have a kicker that's got your back.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
On 1st and 10, Rivers. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Throwing again. Barrett. Dancing to his left. But his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Carl Joseph. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Well, as always, partner, an extreme pleasure to share a booth with you. I have to say,